real compost.
That's the real compost. That's the finished product. That's good stuff.
That's right for my garden.
Yes!
For my pile.
First question I'll ask you is why?
You're on, you're on, you're on.
Welcome back, everyone. Surprise, surprise. We are back. We are building a compost pile. It's good for the environment, and it's good for you too, not to mention the landfills out there. We are talking with our Living Green expert, Lynn Jenkins. Lynn, thanks for being here.
I'm glad to be here, Scott.
All right, we appreciate it very much. First of all, the question a lot of people want to know, because not everybody composts, is why do we do it in the first place?
Because, like you said, it's good for the environment. It protects, it gets rid of all the leaves that are coming down right now. Each household has about 200 pounds of leaves is kind of the estimate. So what do you do with all those leaves? Instead of burning them, which is no longer allowed, or taking them to the landfill, which of course you mentioned is also banned, composting them is the best thing you can do.
Let's get down here. First, I just want to know, is there anything you shouldn't put in a compost pile? I remember when I was a kid, we didn't put in things that were like high in acidity, like oak leaves and maple leaves, stuff like that?
That's okay for here as long as it's not, because our soil can use a little bit of acidity.
pH factor a little bit different.
Right, as long as it's not just oak or walnut.
Okay, how do we get started? I see we have plastic down here.
Well, don't start with plastic on your lawn.
Don't do it.
Yes, just start with a base of leaves. That's the brown, that's the carbon. Then you want to add green, which is nitrogen. Now there's a handful of weeds.
Or grass clippings, will they work?
Grass clippings will work.
Okay.
And also kitchen scraps.
Oh, and you get plenty of that stuff.
Yeah, you know, those rotten things that you know, eggshells, the leftover
Just throw them
pieces.
right in there. Then what do you do?
Then you add, we're making layers. It's just like lasagna.
Which it helps it decompose, right?
Right. And the nitrogen and carbon sources are necessary. This is, actually this is compost for my pile, but you add a little bit of soil and it has the microbes in it that will eat up this and break it down. Right. And then you layer it again. After you get a layer of that, you add more of the leaves, then more greens, and
Just
a little
keep
bit
going
of soil.
and go. And then do you turn it over every now and then?
Now in the winter you can just let it sit, but because it'll freeze hard.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
But yes, in the summer it's good to either turn it over. I don't like to turn it over. I just kind of stick my pitchfork in there and let a little air in. It needs the air. The oxygen in there will keep it from producing any odors.
And then what do you do when you're all said and done with it? I mean, you spread it on your garden, you just plant stuff right in it?
It's wonderful on the garden. I even took some of this compost and put it around my house plants as a little additive when I
You look like you have some really good soil there. And you also wanted to mention something else before we go, right?
If you really don't want to do a compost and if you want to pick up your leaves, there are some areas that have curbside recycling, and then there's a place called Green Cycle, which will take all your leaves and turn it into organic compost so you have it next spring.
Now, if you do it right, people are kind of concerned about this. It doesn't smell that bad, does it?
No, there is actually no smell, other maybe a good earthy smell, but no objectionable odors if you treat it right.
All right, got to talk a little bit about Living Green before you go.
Indiana Living Green. Visit our website, lots of things going on there. IndianaLivingGreen.com.
All right, Lynn Jenkins, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Scott.
And throw that on our plants. They're starting to look like they're wilting a bit.
They can use it.
All right, back to Jim O'Brien. Do you do any